If you look firstly at the biggest change, which is the population growth around the world. I mean, according to the UN, we're heading to something like 10 billion people by 2050, with something like 2/3 of those people living in cities. That is just an unprecedented pace that will hit every city in the world. And I think realistically, most cities are struggling to cope with that, both in terms of the infrastructure, the housing, and the sort of social cohesion and community. And I think that's the big element of change. And I think what's really happening within the sort of construction industry is for many, many years, we've struggled to keep pace with our existing business models with the current pace. But here's a requirement for a pace way bigger than anything that we've ever considered. And I think this is where the challenges are going to come. This is where technology, big data, artificial intelligence, all of these things are going to come into this industry as a way of improving and, if you like, projecting that pace at a much quicker rate. We've got to be ready for that, and we have to seize it before perhaps other people with other business models seize it for us. You know, if you've got a significant number of people moving into cities and the cities aren't equipped, then I think there is the potential for unrest. And I think all leaders are clear that there is already quite a gap between the people who have and the people who haven't in society. But you start to put a lot of pressure into cities and cities can't cope with it. There are projections of potential unrest in society, and I think that's a really important aspect. I think the second piece of that is seizing the changes and the opportunities. You know, we have an industry that's pretty traditional. It hasn't really evolved. It hasn't been as innovative. Its rate of production growth is not the same as, say, the manufacturing sector. And actually what we need is probably a different leadership thinking within construction that really embraces, you know, some of the things that are going to help, you know, bring about construction and sort of placemaking at a much faster rate. Seizing that is going to be a big challenge. I think it really comes down to a need to sort of stand back and look at how we're working today and think about how we're going to embrace the technologies that will improve productivity, that will create, I think, the way in which the future will be is that buildings and location may not be the key value. It will be how those buildings function, how they create society and community that will be the future value. And I think we need to find a way of learning that, understanding how data is going to work, understanding how artificial intelligence can support everybody in the development process, and finding a way of getting generations coming through to interpret that and create different places for the future.